My name is Amandine Alexandre. I'm a journalist, I'm a storyteller, and a copywriter. I live in northwest London, in Brent, and more precisely in Harsden. And something really unusual happened to me 3 weeks ago, but I do think that I was able to cope very well, and I was lucky, and you will understand why I say that. Um, because I had this confidence in myself when I didn't know the people, I was going to be able to communicate with them properly, and that's we would be able to get, to good outcome. So what happened is just over 3 weeks ago, on a Monday morning, I dropped off my daughter at nursery, and I was walking home, and I noticed that there was a man on the pavement opposite, and he was pacing the pavement, and I was wondering, is he looking for somewhere, for someone? He saw me and he crossed the road. He looked like he was in a hurry. He was on the phone, and he told me, "My wife is about to give birth. Do you know what to do?" And I said, "Are you on the phone with 999?" Because that's what I remember from my first aid training, which I did like years ago. And he said, "Yes." So I was already, reassured by the fact that he was talking, to the right people. And for a split second, I just thought, is it a scam? And I said, you know what? It's 9 a.m. What's going to happen to me, if I cross the road and go and I arrive by the side of the car, and actually he doesn't have a wife, who's about to give birth, nothing's going to happen to me, I'm fine, I'm safe. And I said also, why would you say, your wife is about to give birth? Anyway, so just decided, I could trust this man, cross the road, arrive by the side of the car, and his wife was at the back. She was lying on her back, and she said, I think as it's one of those things. It just happened so quickly. We actually didn't talk that much, but I think she said very, very quickly, "Baby is about to come out. Baby is coming out." And I think I may have asked her a question just because I needed to figure out what I was going to do, because I'm not a midwife. I have to say that I have two children, and the youngest one is 1.5. So for this reason, although I gave birth in very different circumstances, by C-section, obviously completely emphasized with this woman, who is about to give birth. But I think I may have asked her a question. I just said, it's going to be fine, or, something, just because I needed 5 seconds to think, okay, what am I going to do here? Meanwhile, her husband was still on the phone, still talking to the emergency services. And, she said, "Baby is coming out." I just said, she knows it. She obviously knows, she looks quite terrified also, to be honest. So I think that the all training I did, with you, I think helped in just assessing very quickly, the state. I was very relaxed, and I'm someone who's actually relaxed in those kind of circumstances. I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, partially it's down to the fact I'm a journalist. So I probably quite enjoy this kind of adrenaline high kind of moments. I don't know. Anyway, I've been in similar situations before where I saw someone needed help, and called 999 and all those things. But yeah, just realized she obviously is telling me what's she how she feels, and I need to act on this. I don't have any qualifications, but in a sense, it's very simple, can be very simple. So basically, I pulled down her leggings. I think the head of the baby was there already. And I just put my hands, underneath the head of the baby, and the baby just came out like, kind of shot up really. And it was a girl actually, and she started crying right away. So I was really lucky. It was like super straightforward. It couldn't have been more straightforward. So I held the baby. I was feeling quite emotional, obviously. I didn't expect this to happen to me at all on a Monday morning. And I said to the mom, who was obviously, still looked really frightened. I think, she's breathing, she's well. And then I lift up the umbilical cord and checked if it was a girl or a boy. So it's a girl. Maybe she knew it already. I don't know. Maybe she knew she was expecting a girl. And I gave the baby to her. And because they were on their way to hospital, they had towels and things. So she put a towel on top of her immediately. And the dad was still talking to 999. We were kind of a little bit behind the curve because they were asking questions as if the baby had not been born. And we were like, no, but the baby has been born. And I just stayed there just for a few minutes. My hands were covered in blood. So I walked back to nursery and said, can I wash my hands? Just help women deliver a baby. And they looked at me and oh, okay. So wash my hands and then walk back to the car. And by the time I walked back, actually, the ambulance was arriving. So I just, congratulated the dad and left and let them there. And then,
Wow, what an amazing experience.
yeah, no, it's incredible. It's incredible.
So I'm curious, it doesn't sound like there were many words exchanged.
No, they were not.
But you said you thought that Better Conversations course had helped you in this situation.
But because I think the thing is, I recognized really, really quickly that I was really relaxed. I had nothing on my mind when he approached me. So I was very much in a green state. And he was obviously anxious, but he wasn't panicked either. He obviously thought he couldn't do this by himself, and he needed someone's help. And fair enough. But he was doing the right thing, but he had been calling 999. I just think that the course, what it did fundamentally is just reaffirm that those values that I hold as really, which are very essential for me, which is, communicating with people, communicating better, because better communication leads to better action, um, just gave me this probably extra boost of confidence that I needed at the time. Um, but no, we didn't talk too much, but I don't think we needed to talk very much, really. Um, and again, I think it's about recognizing, yes, people. Yeah, I was not. Also, I didn't have any qualifications. My just general state was kind of perfect in a sense.
Mhm.
For and also I had seen him, walking the pavement up and down. So it's not as if like I was dipping soaps, and he had kind of walked on me and said, can you. I could see that there was something happening. I was kind of aware of the context, in a very vague way. So when he approached me, in a sense, I was already ready, mentally to actually help him, because I thought, yes, he needed maybe some information or, something. Uh, yes.
And open to hearing what he said and what the lady said.
Exactly. No, exactly. I thought there's not much, I don't need to make any assumptions about anything. It's very straightforward, and making assumptions, as we know, is not helpful, in any circumstances. But and I also do remember, what Steve said about the fact that, he had been able to communicate with people in very, very, tense circumstances. And yes, that's me just listening to them and being guided by them was the best thing I could do, really. Um, and I think again, I was just very lucky that it just all happened really, really smoothly. I mean, I haven't been in touch with them. I don't know their name. And, I hope I will be able to get in touch with them at some point